All right, welcome back to the Trading to the Promised Land YouTube channel. Today we're December 4th, 2025, and this will be a market recap, mainly of the Nasdaq, but as always, we might get into some other things. So when it comes to news today, there wasn't too much news. At 8:30 a.m., we had the U.S. initial jobless claim, which was plus 191,000. We had 10 a.m. news, U.S. factory orders month over month, which was down 0.2%. And at 11 a.m., we had Trump met with African leaders. It was Rwanda and the DRC, so Congo. There was also some meta news also that came out this morning. Price action today was actually not the greatest, similar to yesterday, but we'll get into the chart shortly. For now, we can see what the news was about today. So as you can see here, Putin was also in India, working on trade deals with India. So I don't know how that's going to affect the U.S. markets or not, but it's just something to note. As mentioned, we had U.S. initial jobless claims. The actual number was 191,000. So that was good for the dollar index. But for some reason, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq had a negative reaction to the news. You can see here that it went down. That's the S&P, but the Nasdaq had a similar reaction as well. Following that, we had news about Meta. So Meta Zuckerberg plans up to 30% cuts for metaverse efforts, which was a positive reaction for the Meta stock, which, as you know, is part of the Nasdaq Magnificent 7. The news that actually came out was that Meta up more than 5% as Zuckerberg's plans metaverse cuts. Meta Zuckerberg is anticipated to meaningfully slash resources for building the so-called metaverse, an effort that he once framed as the future of the company and the reason for changing its name from Facebook. So he's really just keeping his word to shareholders. When we see here at the bottom, it says the proposed metaverse cuts are part of Meta's annual budget planning for 2026, which included a series of meetings at Zuckerberg's compound in Hawaii last month. The People said Zuckerberg has asked Meta executives to look into 10% cuts across the board, which has been the standard requests during similar budget cycles the past few years. So, you know, it's good for their budget technically to reduce cuts, to reduce expenses. So that's why there was a bullish reaction for Meta this morning. Following that, we'll just scroll up here. We see that the Mexican president and also the Canadian Prime Minister are met to speak with Trump, I believe, next week. So on Thursday, to speak about trade deals again. So that's positive. As you know, there's been some tension a little bit when it comes to tariffs and trade negotiations between the three. So more discussions is usually positive, hopefully. So that will occur. Well, here it says actually that Mexico's president is to hold a short in-person meeting with Trump December 5th, which is tomorrow actually. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on how things develop there and how it can affect the markets. But hopefully they can come to an agreement, and you know, it'll be positive for the markets. Again, here we have the U.S. factory orders month over month. As mentioned, it was down 0.2%. Other than that, there really wasn't too much significant when it comes to news. So we'll jump into the charts. Just before that, we can see that the fear and greed index is now at fear 37. I believe yesterday was at 28. So it looks like there's less and less fear in the markets, which is, I guess, a bullish sign. So again, something to keep an eye on. If we go to the markets, I'm just going to start with yesterday's candle. So as mentioned yesterday, we had a green pin bar, which, you know, obviously a green candle is bullish, but the thing that we had to kind of keep an eye on is that the the price action yesterday closed below the previous day high, as you can see here. So this here would be the previous day high, and we closed below, which is it can be seen as a bearish sign actually. So that's something that we had to be careful about. Because of that, I was somewhat bearish on the day, but since we've been very bullish, it's kind of a mixed signal as well. So it was a bit hard to tell, and maybe that's why the price action was the way it was, because we can tell that price is going up, but maybe there's some uncertainty in the market before FOMC, which I'm not sure why there would be. There's also some more red folder news tomorrow, so that could have affected it as well. As you see here, tomorrow, December 5th, we have employment change, unemployment rate, core PCE price index, and prelim University of Michigan consumer sentiment. The core PCE here is usually a pretty important piece of news because I believe it talks about inflation. Yes, so it's a Federal Reserve's primary inflation measure. So I think that's going to be a very important news to keep your eye on tomorrow. And maybe that's why today we had the price action that we saw. We'll just jump in the charts right now and take a deeper dive on the lower time frame. So this was yesterday. I'll just go down to the 4-hour and show what we had today. I'll also show my markings so that we have a better idea of what we were looking at. So Asia was mainly kind of sideways as well. And then at 2 a.m., the 2 a.m. 4-hour candle was a doji, a bearish doji. So that's more towards London. And then the 6 a.m. candle was very bearish. So I'll just go down to a lower time frame so that we have a better view of what happened. So as you can see here, the 8 a.m. candle, that's where we would have had the first piece of red folder news. So we were bearish there. And then I think we went up potentially because of the meta news. But we had this 1-hour fair value gap that's been here for a couple of days now. So we just wicked over it. But when you look at the 1 hour, we also see that it's been ranging a lot lately, right? Hasn't really gone above that level. This has been a significant level in the market this week. So this could have been seen like a liquidity grab as well, right? So grab liquidity, touch the fair value gap, grab some orders, and then went straight down. Just like yesterday, although yesterday it was generated by fake news, but today, just at market open, it went straight down. I'll go down to the 15-minute and we'll have a better idea of how price action was today and how it could have been difficult for a lot of people, just like yesterday. Actually, with the 15-minute here, obviously we have a bearish fair value gap here that I'll mark. And then we also have the midnight open, which was around 25,638. As you know, I always like to chart the midnight open. And from here, you can definitely tell that it was a significant level as well. Price action kind of pivoted around the midnight open multiple times throughout the day. If we go down to the 5-minute, we see how rangy it was, right? Just like yesterday, we had a lot of range. Although yesterday it was a grind up, today was very sideways, as you can tell. Wicks on both sides, a lot of doji, so a lot of indecision in the market. So it might have been a hard trading day for people that trade more in a directional manner. If you were a range bound trader, maybe you had a good day. Maybe it was a day for short scalps, not really long-term moves, because as you can tell, most of the price action was in this area here, nothing else. As you know, in my previous videos, again, I like to talk about the manipulation back to the midnight open, which we clearly saw here. Like, it just wicked the midnight open and then shot back down. So that could have been a nice short. But there was also here another opportunity. You just had to be a little bit more patient, where we had a rejection of the 15-minute fair value gap midline and then back down to low of day. Again, I was bearish because of the close that we had yesterday, but then obviously we saw the manipulation here, and also Asia and London. So this red box here is Asia. You saw that Asia was really flat, and then London was also pretty flat. So then we had a lot of accumulation. We had this manipulation on the upside, and then I went back down, right? So that's kind of why I was more on the bearish side personally. I did take a trade here and I think here, but I did take a couple of trades today and had some losses as well. So I won't have the video to show today, unfortunately. But yeah, today and yesterday, not really great days, and that might be because we're waiting for the news to occur tomorrow. Hopefully, after tomorrow, we'll see a little bit of distribution. Oftentimes, when you had a lot of accumulation, so sideways action or range bound action, there's a significant move after that. So breakout traders or people that like distribution will likely do well in that kind of market, but who knows when that's going to be over. So to keep an eye out on tomorrow, I think personally I would assume that after the news, the CPI, I think it's CPI, yeah, core PCE news at 10 a.m., we should have better movement in the market, hopefully. If not, maybe it'll continue to range until FOMC, who knows. As mentioned previously, there are higher targets on the daily, but you never know when we're going to go for those, right? It could be this week, it could be next week, it could be in a month, but there are higher areas. This big area here is a daily fair value gap, so eventually it should get filled, but we really don't know when. I don't know if the market makers are playing games with people and just accumulating, or who knows what they do. But today was another kind of difficult day for most people. Again, resembling yesterday, where there was a lot of chop, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We can't control the markets. We can only react to them. So just trade safe out there. Maybe take tomorrow off if you had a tough week. Again, losses are part of the game. We don't quit. We learn. We keep forward. And one day, eventually we'll succeed if you're not successful yet. So that's all I have for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Thank you, God, for another day, and God bless.